even though you were and are a pioneer, why were you inspired by Martin Luther King and Mahatma Gandhi?
I belong to a society that has more than 70 million pieces of weapons, and under the rule of the dictator Ali Saleh, we have dozens of wars between sectors, between cultures, between all tribes. It's all kind of wars you will see under his ruling, because it was his way to continue his rule of the country, rule by dividing. So with this, the armed society, and with this long history of violence, yeah, it gave me, the how can I work, how can I convince this society to avoid violence and to use non-violence. So, and it was hard in the beginning. I was alone in the street, carrying the flowers, calling people for peaceful way, calling people to throw the weapons and demand for their rights peacefully with non-violence. It was in the first time. It was very hard. People laugh at me, and it was woman in the street, and it's yes, we have a very great history with with the rulers women, but the current situation put women in the side. Women should play just traditional rules. So, but with that, no, that laughing, that ignoring, that attacking from the government, from the society, making me more strong and more believer on my mission and my way. Now, how can I convince people for doing something for the country? So they are violent, but how can I do? So was the Mahatma Gandhi and Mandela give me the answer. Non-violent is the only way that you can face the violence inside the country, and also the bad image about women inside the country, and also all the violence from the government. And that was really, really the best solution and the best tools. And without non-violent, we couldn't, force the dictator Ali Saleh to step down, because we just used non-violence.
But you did something that nobody ever did beforehand. 32 years, President Ali Saleh rules the country with an iron fist, authoritarian, with complete corruption, and you, as one person determined, you basically overthrow him. Maybe you could discuss how you started telling us this journey, but how did you discuss it? He has all the weapons. He is not scared to use them. He uses them at his disposal for fear, keeping down the population, torturing people. How you walk us through this period of time from 2007 to 2011, when you start camping out in Central Square. Most people, it's incredible. Tawakkol, she started peacefully protesting, and she set up a tent in the middle of the Central Square of the capital of Yemen, and she refused to leave.
Look, the journey started by first by dream, and that is very important. You should dream to do something. So it was very hard to dream in a society like Yemen, a violent country and a corrupt country, and a country that accused with terrorism, and it's unfair, And I know my country very well, and I know how it's a very peaceful country, and how it's rich country, and how it's a ancient country, has very strong history, and we can do it. So first thing, that the journey started with my dream that one day Yemen will be strong again, because our history telling us about السعيدة العربية السعيدة, which is the Felix Arabia. So, and also I believe first, and second, it was my believing on my ability as Tawakkol, as a person and as a woman, because I knew that even I am in a society that unfortunately they at that time they don't respect the rule of woman on leading the country, but I can encourage people to do something to respect women and by making me in the front line. So dreaming and believing on my ability, I started that with writing articles against the dictator. So it was very strange to as a woman to write on a politics side and also to criticize this dictator himself. So both politics and criticize him, while it was very unusual and it was really dangerous. So journalism was my gate on my journey for toppling the system of the dictator Ali Saleh.
So that's how you start creating the following.
Creating, look, before most of the journalists was criticizing the situation, what is happening in the corruption, the violation of human rights, etc. But I told them that we will not have a great country, we will not be able to fight corruption if the head of the system himself is corrupt. We will not be able to criticize the war if the head of the country, he is the one who feeds the war. So speaking about the head, then everything. So when you want to clean the stairs, you should clean it from above, not from down. So this is what I did. So first criticizing the one who is the reason and the cause of all the collapse in my country. And it was a very strong and unusual articles. And I had a lot of threats to me, to my family, my husband, my father, etc., etc. And second, after writing that, then I say, and also the journalism in Yemen become also stronger and stronger. Journalists become criticizing him, also the system, etc. And then the attacking against expression rights increase. So then I said, oh, I should improve my way, my tool of criticizing the dictatorship in my country. So it is not just writing, I should do something else. So we organized, we found women journalists without chains. So before it was without borders, but then the authority hijacked it and closed it. Then I told them, okay, I have another, it's without chains. So it was a strong, message from us that you will not stop us, and it's a long story, but it's with your permission, without your permission, we will continue our work with another tool, which is organization. Now, before I was alone writing, now I should do an organization to ally, to gather people around me to have the same mission. On first, defending on expression rights, because I believe, and I still believe, that expression rights is the most important item of democracy. And if we want real democracy, we should start with expression rights. And also it's the most important item of the journey for freedom, for sacrificing, for struggling for freedom. Without using it, without practicing it, not asking it, so we will not be able to do that. So to do any kind of struggle or of outcomes or of gains. So expression rights was also, defending on expression rights through women journalists without chains was my, second journey on the battle, for against the dictator. Then also it wasn't enough, so through women journalists without chains, we made reports, we made a lot of activities, some sit-ins, like that, but it's still It is not that effect, and all the things that Women Journalists Without Chains and other organizations was calling for example, calling the government to stop violation, to stop corruption, etc. The government doesn't respond to us. They made it strong. They made the situation worse and worse. Then we started the another thing, sitting, which is now in 2006. We go to square, it was in front of the cabinet. We call it was empty square. We call it now. This is our new method against dictatorship, and it's our new method to raise our voice for the victims. So we call that square, Freedom Square. So every Tuesday we organize a sit-in in Freedom Square since May 2006, and then 2007. It makes didn't stop since 2006 until 2011. When I take 2006 and 2007, because 2006 started with the calling for free press, expression rights, and 2007 making it big calls, requirements for human rights in general. It was the gathering of every victims to come there, and if they want to say something, we are their voice inside the Freedom Square. So it also make a lot of annoying, against the government, and they try to stop this sit-in, and it was really strange, and people was laughed because they said, "Oh, using a sit-in, it's strange. It needs just one bullet to kill the one who make this victim. It's more worth it than screaming every Tuesday. And then they made it, they tried to stop it, and I carry my microphone going in Sana'a street, in the houses, telling people, Yemeni people, wake up, we should do something for my country, for our country. Until the revolution came, which is the fourth step, which is, okay, we write articles, we found organizations, we made sit-ins, demonstrations, strike, etc., and nobody listened to us. So what is the solution? And the situation become worse and worse and worse. What is the solution? This regime, we will no longer not asking you for any reforms. You should leave. And that was the beginning of the revolution in the January 15, 2011, which is the year of Arab Spring. So it's then the peaceful revolution with target the youth, students, all the parties, and it did a great work as a peaceful revolution.